So, sixth graders, today we're going to talk about estimation strategies in math. And estimation strategies are used when you want to get a quick answer that's close to the exact answer, but you can find it more easily. All right? A quick answer that you can find more easily. What you'll do is then round the numbers so that you can do an easier problem, but still get a close answer to the original problem. All right? And the concept we're going to talk about today is using compatible numbers. This word right here, compatible numbers. Numbers that make sense together. Numbers that fit together. When we did that pattern assignment with that worksheet, we saw that there are small numbers in other numbers. There are factors in those numbers. There's multiples that are made when you multiply a number times 1 or times 2 times 3 and so on. So we want to use numbers that work together. All right? Take a look at your worksheet that I put in front of you. And let's skip down to number 1. If we were going to estimate this first problem, 2,548 divided by 28. What we want to do first is round the numbers, but we want to round them so that we can make a problem that's easy to do. We want to make a basic division fact that we know. So, we don't want to round this number to 25 divided by 3 or 2,500 divided by 30, because if we used 2,500 divided by 30, 25 does not divide by 3, does it? Not evenly. But there's a close number that does divide by 3 that we can work with more easily. And so I wrote that one, 2,400 divided by 30. Where did the 30 come from? Where did the 30 come from? Maya?
28 is closer to 30.
Yeah, 28 is close to 30. So it makes sense to round 28 to 30 so that we can work with it. Then, we want to find a number that is compatible with 30. And we know 24 divided by 3 is 8. Right? So those are compatible. 24 divides by 3 evenly. Now, is the answer 8, or what do we do with the zeros when you're dividing? When you're dividing big numbers like 2,400 divided by 30, Bethany? You bring them down if it's multiplication. When you're multiplying, you put all of the zeros into the answer. When you're dividing, it's more like subtraction. How can subtraction and division are more similar? So what can you do if you're thinking of subtraction and division being similar? Let's go back to those notes that I gave you. And maybe you copied this practice problem. What did I put over these zeros? Kaden? Lines. What that's showing is that I crossed these out. And here's the process. For every one that you cross off one number, if I have 42,000 divided by 7,000, for every 1 0 that I cross off one number, I can cross one off the other number. Okay? So since 7,000 has 3 zeros, I can cross off 3 zeros from the dividend. Okay? Now let's go back to our problem we're working on. If 2,400 has 2 zeros, but 30 only has 1 0. So we can only cross off 1 0 from each number. Okay? Cross off a 0 from each number, and that leaves 1 left over. You know what you do with the one that's left over? Jacob?
You put it behind the 8?
Yes. Very good. You put it in the answer. Put it behind the 8. 2,400 divided by 30 is 80. Okay? Let's do the next one. 25,800. We have to find compatible numbers. Let's start with the 800. What could we round, or 812? I kind of gave away the answer. What could we round 812 to? That's a close number. Danny?
800.
800. So let's start by doing that. And now let's find a number in the front of the dividend, the first number, that is compatible with 8. What number is divisible easily by 8 that's close to this first number? Bella?
24.
24 again. See, it's a lot like the first problem. We're working with the same numbers but in a different order. Now, we can't just use 24. We have to use 24,000 because 24,000 is somewhat close to 25,984. So that's our rounded problem. 24,000 divided by 800. Again, this is the same division fact, or a related division fact, really. 24 divided by 8 is what? From the previous problem. From the previous problem we did 2,400 divided by 30. So what related problem are we using? What's 24 divided by 8? Aiden? 3.
Except it has to be 30.
Yeah, now we have to do something with these zeros. There's 2 zeros in 800, 3 zeros in 24,000. How many can we cross off from each? Devlin?
2.
2, correct. 2 zeros from each number, because both numbers have 2 zeros in them. We can't cross off all the zeros. We're left with 1, and that one goes behind the 3. That one is part of the answer. Okay? So that's how you use compatible numbers when you're estimating division problems. Find compatible numbers, or find numbers that divide evenly, and then round the given numbers to those, using those numbers. Now, let's go on to a multiplication problem. It says, use front-end estimation when you're doing multiplication problems. So, we want to round these numbers so that we can multiply them using just our knowledge of the basic facts. Okay? So, for example, 389. We could round 389 to 390, but the digits 39 are not easily multiplied, are they? That's not a basic fact that we've learned. So, that's why 400 makes more sense. Okay? Because 400 is easy to multiply, and 17 could be rounded to 20, because we can multiply the digits then. 4 times 2 is 8, and then all of the zeros from the problem go into the answer. Whenever you're multiplying really big numbers, you count up all the zeros in the whole problem and then put them in the answer. 400 has 2 zeros, 20 has 1 zero, so our answer should have 3 zeros in it. Okay? Let's do the next one. 421 times 73. Let's round those first. 421. Grace? Good. Round it to 400 again. 73. Catherine? 80. We could use either 80 or 70. Which one would be closer? Because 73 is between 80 and 70, right? Which one would be closer, actually? Catherine? Which one?
70.
70 would actually be closer. We could use 80, but and since we rounded 421 to 400, rounding it down, we could round this one up, and we'd probably still get a close answer in this case. But since 73 is closer to 70, let's round this one to 70. Now, the basic fact, 4 times 7. 4 times 7 is, Michael? 28. And then what do we do with the zeros?
Add them to the number.
Raise your hand out. Go ahead.
Add them to 28.
Yep, put them all into the answer. Okay? Any questions on rounding and then estimating division and multiplication problems? I want you to make sure you round first and show your work when you're rounding, and then write the answer. Okay?